good day. We're glad that you're with us today for Relaunch at Lunch. It's airing this week at 12 noon every day, so as you grab a bite of lunch, we hope that you tune us in. So joining me this week is Pastor Dennis Thurman of the Pole Creek Baptist Church, and also Pastor Mark Caldwell, who will be joining us in a moment from the Turkey Creek Baptist Church on Wednesday the 20th. So Dennis, let's just talk about three very important questions and see what your thoughts are and the thoughts you've been given by your leadership team concerning small groups and what that might look like in the future compared to where you have been before the pandemic.
Well, in our situation, a lot of our adult classes were very large, and of course we have children's ministries and classes as well. And so when this first hit, it was not even a consideration that we would have Bible study groups. So we began to encourage our workers to do something online. So whether it be with Zoom or Google Meets or whatever the case may be, that's what we've been promoting. And I see that continuing for our young adult classes because there's really nothing to do with the children, because our children's ministries right now and classes will not meet, because there's just no way to keep it sanitized, to keep them apart from each other, to staff it with enough workers, to where you still maintain the social distancing. I mean, there's a lot, it's a logistical nightmare to do that. So many of those young adult classes, couples classes, will continue to do online because that way they can have their little rugrats out running around here, there, everywhere. But we're going to start having some of the older classes of our adults to meet outside, so they can gather and sit apart in groups. And so we'll have some designated areas around our campus where they can come. And even if they don't want to do it on a Sunday morning, and some might want to do it during the week. You've got warm weather now, so that's a great possibility. Some might want to have those classes. I know one particular teacher's got a very large yard, and they might just want to have the folks come over and gather there. So there are ways to maintain Bible study, and I think going forward it'll be very important to get that done. But to cram a bunch of people inside of a classroom right now does not sound like a good idea. Even if it's permissible, I don't know how many would respond to that.
I can see the outdoor opportunities, picnic opportunities, a dessert gathering of people, and still being able to social distance and be outside. So thank you for sharing that. I'm curious, when we talk about children's ministry, and you mentioned that, I know that has to look different in the future. You mentioned that would not be something immediately that cranked back up at Pole Creek. Has anyone given any thought, have you or your leadership given any thought, is there even a remote possibility of something that like a VBS?
So what we'll do and have been doing, actually we've been doing children's ministry, but it's been to help equip parents to do that. So we've been providing resources, online studies that are available. Some of in fact, our children's minister has been taking different age groups each week and having a class time with them online. And so we're doing a host of things that way. And as far as Vacation Bible School is concerned, we plan to put together packets of information, and again, to help parents that will teach their children at home, and perhaps even gather a few kids in the community, the old backyard Bible club thing. As this goes on, and hopefully, the virus begins to die out during the summer, you can do that more readily. But the uncertainty to plan a large vacation Bible school right now just seems out of the question to do it the typical way. But we're still going to find ways to do that, and I think it really helps dad, or in case of a single mother, helps them to be the primary spiritual leader of the home, which I believe is biblical anyway.
Absolutely. So
we just provide support, encouragement, and the tools and resources for those parents to do that. We plan to continue to do that. And let me add one more thing right quick. During our worship time, in every venue where we will meet, we'll have a nursing mother's room, a crying room, if you will.
Okay.
to where if a lady needs to go there to tend to her child, it'll be sanitized, it'll be available for them. But we will not provide your typical nursery or children's worship time.
Okay. So you anticipate that children will need to stay with parents during the worship time?
Children will be with their parents. I think it's a great opportunity for family worship. Yes, it'll be a little noisy, but again, you're cutting down the numbers, and so by doing that and spreading them out, I think maybe it won't be sheer pandemonium. And I think it's a great thing for kids to look at dad and mom singing, to see them pray, to see them engaged in worship, and that's a learning experience for them as well.
Exactly. So, tell me how music and during the worship time might need to look differently when we first reopen.
Well, we're not going to do a choir, at least a fully staffed choir. Now, by doing multiple services, it might be that we can spread them out and have a partial group singing at each service.
Okay.
But we certainly miss that singing opportunity, and so we've been providing that online. And we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to live stream our services for people that can't come. And we've encouraged folks to join in at their home. We put the lyrics up and so forth. And so we're going to continue to encourage singing, like Brother Martin mentioned in a previous broadcast, I think. We're going to take the hymn books out because, again, to try to use those and then disinfect them in between services, that would be a nightmare. So those won't be there, but we've been posting our lyrics on the screen, and we'll continue to have that available for folks because we want to encourage them to sing. Now, you've probably heard this, that there are some thoughts among people that spreading the virus through singing is probably one of the most dangerous things.
I have not heard that.
Oh yes, and that it projects it out farther than other places. But you know, when I heard that, I just said, you know, you got to reach a limit somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to sing, or if you don't want to be at a service where they're singing, but when I get together, people of God, I'm going to sing.
Exactly. We'll give praise.
Exactly.
That. Dennis, thank you for joining us on Wednesday the 20th, and we're delighted to have you sharing this week.
Thank you, Perry.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us today for Relaunch at Lunch. Joining me again today is Mark Caldwell, the pastor at Turkey Creek Baptist Church. Mark, share with me a little bit about your traditional groups that you had, I think, in Sunday school prior to this pandemic. How is that going to look different whenever we have an opportunity to reopen?
Well, we have actually talked about that. Our Sunday school classes is really strong. Our adult classes are fairly large, and so they're going to continue the Zoom meetings for some time until we kind of just see what's going on. They'll be doing that. I liked what Pastor Dennis shared in the session, as well as the outdoor Sunday school. I had actually thought about setting up an old camp meeting tent, you know, and letting people meet under it if the weather got bad. So we have been looking at those in Sunday school, and they'll continue to meet. Our Docs ministry that we do, our Disciples of Christ, was on Sunday night. It is now being moved to Wednesday night due to not having Sunday night services. And so our Docs ministry is going to be meeting in a Zoom setting as well, because when you get all those kids together, you know, you can't control them. So we will continue to meet that way.
Okay. Tell me how you might perceive children's ministry looking different in the future. Is it even possible for a while to do children's Sunday school? And have you given any thought of the possibility of Vacation Bible School sometime during the summer months?
Well, our children's ministry during Sunday school time, they're not going to be able to meet for a while due to having to clean and sanitize everything so much, and then again for the children meeting together, trying to control them. You know, they love being together, and so we're going to probably not do Sunday school for some time now. As far as Vacation Bible School, we have actually moved our Vacation Bible School to July, which we was doing our main mission trip that got canceled. want to continue to do Bible school. And there again, I thought about getting the big tent set up so we could do it outside and do Bible school that way. Maybe if we have to do it later in the year when school starts back, do a weekend Bible school, something Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We had talked about those avenues as well. We just really love Bible school, and it's been a great part of Southern Baptist life for years, but also we may have to find new ways of doing it.
Exactly, and it is and has been in Baptist life for many years one of the greatest evangelistic weeks of our year in the life of the church. And so it would be sad not to be able to some way construct it to have something that resembled a VBS. But then again, we heard Pastor Dennis say also in this session how the children's small group, those leaders could possibly be challenged in their own neighborhood.
Yes.
To hold outdoor gatherings for children and Bible study for children, and be inclusive of children in their neighborhood. Use it as a new challenge of outreach. So there's a lot of wonderful things that can come out of us looking closely at what we've been doing, the different groups, small groups for adults and children, and remaking those in the days ahead. And so, it is a challenge none of us wanted, but it can be a challenge that God blesses and uses. So, hey, let me follow that up by saying this: music. I think Dwayne Davis serves as your minister of music there at Turkey Creek. And I know y'all had some conversations about what this might look like in the days ahead. So tell us about music in the life of Turkey Creek and what it might look like.
Obviously we won't have a choir meeting.
Yeah.
If we do, we'll have to split them up and have two different choirs to work together and practice as well. We possibly are looking at putting together just a praise team to lead our worship. I spoke with Dwayne this past week, and I've just shared kind of my vision is rather than the choir traditionally performing for the church, I want the choir to be worship leaders for the congregation. Mm-hmm. And so as they sing, we all sing together. So splitting them up would not be a problem, having two different people or two different sets of people there.
Yeah. Thank you, Brother Mark, for joining us today on Wednesday the 20th, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our conversation.
Thank you.